What's going on, guys? So a lot of you see me on this channel making tons of money, but what most of you don't realize is that I'm a high school dropout that was literally this close to failing at life. So today I wanted to go over my full entrepreneurship journey and show you how I went from a high school dropout that got arrested and had terrible grades to making over $100,000 per month at age 21. And I'm even going to be showing you exactly what I did to hit this profit. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So to start off, I grew up in a middle-class family. My dad was an immigrant from Bangladesh, and my mom's side of the family was Holocaust survivors. Now, they had a good relationship for a while until they decided to get a divorce. And this is pretty much what ended up spiraling my life downhill. I started to hang out with my friends pretty much all the time, which led me to being under the influence of drinking and smoking weed at a very young age. And by the time I was 14, I already got arrested for underage drinking, and I had a very traumatic experience where I ended up waking up in the hospital. And I'm not gonna get too into it, but basically what happened, I was walking around buzzed at night, a police officer saw me, he jumped on top of me, and I woke up in the hospital with a busted face. Now honestly, this was probably one of the lowest points in my life. Now unfortunately, it didn't stop me from doing what I was doing. And long story short, I ended up screwing around for the next 3 years. My parents were bouncing me from school to school, and eventually I just lost absolutely all drive to show up for school. I was failing most of my classes, and I knew that college was the exact opposite approach that I wanted to take. And one of the funniest things about this story is when I was 15 years old, I told my dad that I was not going to college, and his exact response was, only people like Bill Gates succeed without college. Anyways, eventually I ended up dropping out of high school and decided that I wanted to pave my own future. I've always been very entrepreneurial, and at the time I already had a few side hustles that was making me almost $1,000 profit per month. What I was doing is actually super similar to what I'm doing now. I was going on a website called DHgate, and I was buying different products in bulk, and they were from China and they were super cheap, and when I would actually bring them to the United States, they would literally be worth 5 times what I bought them for, and I ended up making a pretty hefty profit with these side hustles. But I knew it wasn't enough to make it in the real world. So I decided that I needed to get a job to build some capital, and I ended up going on Craigslist.com, literally scouring for any type of job that I could get. And I remember waking up in the morning, calling 10, 15, 20 places every single day, and eventually I landed on a sales job from Costco for this company called Little Giant Ladders. Now, I was super pumped about getting this job because the base pay was, I think, $13 per hour, plus I actually made commission on ladders that I was going to sell. And I literally had no experience with sales, and I was super pumped up. Anyways, I ended up working at this job and I was absolutely crushing it. My 3rd month doing this, I made one of the top quarterly sales positions, and I literally did not know what I was doing. Anyways, this gave me a ton of confidence, and I decided that I need to go out and rinse and repeat what I was doing. So I hopped back onto Craigslist, started calling tons of other people, and just a few months later, I had secured 2 more jobs. I was working as a pizza delivery man, and also I found another job inside Costco. So altogether, I was totaling about 60 hours per week. I think I was making around $3,000 or $3,500 per month at this time, and I actually moved out into my own apartment, and all of my bills almost equaled up to what I was actually earning. Anyways, around the same time, I decided to pick up a hobby. It was around collecting glass artwork, and the reason I was actually attracted into this market is because I saw a massive potential to actually profit off purchasing different artists' work. Now, on top of those 3 jobs, I decided to start flipping this artwork, and it actually worked out really well for me. So one day I ended up deciding to take my Instagram page that I was selling this artwork off of and turn it into a business page, and that's where everything completely changed. My strategy was, instead of buying used artwork and trying to sell it to different consumers, was to buy wholesale directly from the artists and actually be able to retail the products and keep the profit in between. Now, this proved to be one of the coolest things I've ever done, because within the next 6 months, I ended up clearing $100,000 in sales, and at the time I was completely mind blown. $100,000 for me was absolutely unheard of. So I decided to actually take those 3 jobs that I have and take one of the riskiest moves of my life, and I ended up deciding to go all in on this glass artwork business. Now eventually that Instagram page turned into a full-fledged e-commerce company, and I actually had a friend of mine help me build a website around it. Now this actually opened up the door to the rest of my life, because once I got into this online internet marketing world, very soon after I heard about this business model called dropshipping. Now, the friend that ended up helping me build my website for that glass art business, we decided to actually partner up on our very first dropshipping store. My bad guys, my camera ended up dying. And guys, this is probably one of the most embarrassing businesses that anyone could say they ever owned. But essentially what the business model was is we found these different poop emoji plushie toys on AliExpress, and the gist was you could ship them to someone you love or someone you hate. And where we actually got this idea was from this company that was called like Eggplant Emoji, where you could actually send an eggplant to someone. So we got the genius idea that we were gonna sell poop emoji pillows. And the funny thing is, this website was actually built on WooCommerce, so at that point I really didn't know much about Shopify, but we ended up contacting some different meme pages, and we actually spent I think $25 for our very first post. And guys, you cannot make this up, but we posted the ad up and we actually got 3 sales. So funny enough, we ended up making our money back. But after that experience, we didn't run any more ads on that website, because I think we all had kind of a realization that this product wasn't that great. Anyways, a few weeks later, we had to head over to Vegas because there was a trade show for that glass art company. And that's where we actually decided to create our second dropshipping store together. We ended up seeing this advertisement on Facebook for these cool necklaces, and we both looked at each other and said this was the one, and we spent that whole night in Vegas working on the website. We didn't go out or do anything. And by morning time, we had our second dropshipping website up, and this one had a lot more potential. It was a better website, it was a better product, and we wanted to implement the same strategy that actually got us those initial sales. So we ended up driving back to Arizona, and the whole trip I was looking for different influencers we could actually run with. And finally, I got in contact with this meme page. I think the page was called What You Sayin' though. It was like this funny page. Anyways, we ended up paying this page $30 to promote our necklaces, and literally right away this ad worked out much better than the other one. And within the first couple hours, we already had a few sales, and after about 24 hours, we finished the day off with $240. And this was really cool because it definitely validated that this business model worked. So I really did what any other rational person would do and tried to double down on this opportunity. I spent a lot of time trying to find similar pages we could run off of. And the success just kept on coming. Almost every single day, we were spending about $100 or $200, and we were tripling our money at very least, which was an awesome return on advertising when I actually look back at it. Anyways, that very first month, we ended up doing, I think, $38,000 in sales, and I actually posted a video on my YouTube breaking down how I did this, so if you do want to check it out, then click that link. So $38,000 was absolutely nuts, but I definitely knew that there was more potential behind this, especially because the influencers we were contacting were mostly theme pages. So I decided to go out and start contacting some personal brands and some higher profile influencers. And just a few days later, we had this celebrity get back to us, and they mentioned that it was $3,000 to post on their page, which was literally so much money for us at the time, but we decided to just say screw it. We went all in, and we really wanted to see what this could do. Now the next morning, it was like 10:30, and I got a text from the influencer saying that the post actually went live. So I checked the Shopify app store, I refreshed the screen, and I seriously couldn't believe my eyes. We had 1,500 people on the website, and the ad literally got posted just a few minutes ago. And it was only an Instagram feed post, and I went on Instagram, and the post was just absolutely blowing up. We got one of the most cool and organic posts, and it definitely showed in the sales. In the first hour, we did something crazy like $6,000 in sales, and I went to drive to the office to meet up with my business partner, and I was hearing the cha-ching on my phone every second. Now, we only paid for 12 hours, so after the 12 hours was up, the influencer asked if we want to extend another 12 hours for $1,500, so we said yes, and those 24 hours, we ended up clearing, I think, $32,000 in sales, which is just absolutely nuts considering we did $38,000 the month before, and we almost cleared that in one day. And the craziest part about that, if we actually put in the product cost, our profit was something like $23,000 in one single day. Now, I gotta be honest with you guys, this completely changed my life forever, and I will never think about money the same. I never thought that someone who's a high school dropout could start a business and make $30,000 in a single day, and that really gave me the mindset shift to go where I was headed next. So long story short, my friend and I decided to separate ways, and I decided to create my own business. It was still inside the same niche, and I already had acquired quite a bit of experience from the last venture. And I gotta be honest, it was kind of intimidating starting from scratch over again, but the fact that I was able to restart the business completely by myself and get it to $50,000 per month without any business partner made me know that I could go out and I could grow the business to whatever height I wanted to. And at the time, I had mostly used Instagram influencers, and we were getting really good results with that. But the issue with Instagram influencers is that you gotta keep contacting influencers, and honestly, scheduling posts with some of these influencers is really difficult. So I wanted to find a more consistent way to make sales. And over the past few months, I was hearing tons about Facebook advertising and how it can absolutely blow up your business. So one day I decided to go outside of my apartment, I took my phone out, and I'm not even kidding, I shot an ad of this product. I threw it up on Facebook ads with a $100 budget, and the next day we had gotten 20 sales from that, which meant we were acquiring customers for $5 each. Which, I know that's kind of nerdy tech talk, but we were making tons of money from this Facebook ad. So I decided to keep it going, and this was the very first time that I had seen consistency in my business. My sales weren't fluctuating all over the place, and with these Facebook ads, I felt much more secure than my Instagram influencers. And it actually proved to be one of the biggest growth factors of this company. I think before we were selling around 15 or 2,000 units per month, and that literally doubled in the matter of just a few weeks. And I actually saw so much potential in this business that I really wanted to reinvest back into it and try to create a better customer experience. So I actually ended up taking a pretty big risk, and I ended up getting my very first office. This was about 1,100 square feet. It wasn't anything crazy. I bought a ton of shelving, and I think I had to invest around $30,000 or $40,000 to actually place an inventory order. And for the next 6 months, we were shipping out all of our packages from this warehouse, and the business was growing like wildfire. We had our very first employee, and it was in the middle of holiday season where we actually took this business to the biggest point it's ever been, to $230,000 in sales in one single month. Now, keep in mind, our Facebook ad spend was less than 60 grand, so this month we actually ended up clearing 6 figures in profit, which is just something that absolutely blew me away. Now, I gotta be honest, that wasn't sustained for that long. I started to lose passion in this company. Even though it was growing so much, it literally took absolutely all of my time. So in a desperate measure to try to regain my passion in this business, I decided to convert it back into a dropshipping business. But this time, instead of using some slow shipping method, I was actually using FedEx IP from China, so my packages were only taking about 2 or 3 days to arrive to the customers, which was absolutely amazing, but I still wasn't enjoying running this business. I knew that I could provide more value to the world, and honestly, I wanted to try something new out. I've been doing this for a few years now, so I decided to actually try and sell the business. Now, while this wasn't the first time that I thought about selling the business, this was the first time that I was really serious about any of the offers that I got. And it's kind of crazy. I got contacted by someone who's interested in the business, and in 2 weeks we were in escrow, and 6 weeks later we actually closed the deal, and I actually sold my very first business. Now, honestly, did I get the exit I wanted? Absolutely not, but I still got a pretty juicy multi-6-figure exit, and I got a ton of experience from this business that I went out and took and started implementing into other e-commerce businesses, and now I've generated multi-million dollars in other e-commerce businesses that aren't in involved in that venture. And I can genuinely tell you guys that e-commerce is the greatest opportunity of our generation. If someone like me, who is an 18-year-old high school dropout, could come out, open their own business, and make 6 figures profit per month, then literally anyone can do this. And that's why I think e-commerce is just so amazing. I see people all over the world have their life change from this business model, from India, from Sweden, everywhere. It's just absolutely amazing. And that's why I'm so passionate about sharing this information on YouTube, because e-commerce and dropshipping genuinely changed my life. And guys, I'm definitely not saying that my journey was easy, but it was definitely well worth it. So if you're watching this video at home and you can just feel that you're destined to do great things in this world, then don't be scared. Go out and do it and make it happen, because at the end of the day, you're the only one holding yourself back. And if I never took any of the opportunities that I took in my life, then I would not be in the position where I'm at. And if you're young, all you guys have right now is time to take risks and actually turn your life into something you love. We're taught today in this mainstream media that we should be working for our entire lives until we get to the point of retirement, where we have to work off a limited budget and we're never really able to enjoy the fruits of our labor. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I definitely don't want that to be my lifestyle, and that's why I constantly take risks to get myself in a new position and keep myself on the right trajectory to get where I'm wanting to go. So if you guys want to do this business model, go out and make it happen. I have tons of videos on this channel that will show you literally everything that I did, so there's absolutely no excuses. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and it helped motivate you. Go out, kick some ass today. Take care, peace out. See you guys in the next video.